Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown and 205 Live results. Happy birthday goes to Bray Wyatt, celebrating his 30th birthday on Tuesday on the 23rd. Wyatt team with Samoa Joe defeat Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the main event of last night's Raw. On the 24th, former WWE wrestler Elijah Burke turned 39 years old, now known as the Pope, D'Angelo Dinero. He works as commentator for Impact Wrestling. On the 25th, Tatsutoshi Goto turned 61. Hiro Saito turned 56. Ricky Banderas turned 41. He worked as El Messias as well as Milmer Mortez. And Alberto El Patron, real name of Jose Alberto Rodriguez, turned 40 years old. Roman Reigns turned 32. Bo Dallas, his real name is Taylor Rotunda. He turned 27. Johnny Rougeau, the father of Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau. He died of cancer on May 25th, 1983 at the age of 53. The uncle, he's the uncle, not the father of Jacques and Raymond. Charlotte Flair will join the WWE Hall of Famers Kurt Angle and Ric Flair in representing the company at the International License Expo in Las Vegas this week. The expo runs May 23rd through the 25th at Mandalay Bay Convention Center. So, she missed SmackDown. New Day's Fantastic Ride, presented by Final Fantasy IX, is now available on demand at this link. You can see that. And the section of the WWE Network, Big E tweeted out another clip from the special. On this week's episode of Dinner with the King podcast with WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler and his co-host Glenn Moore, they talk about Owen Hart's death, which is 18 years ago this week. Lawler was one of the first people who rushed to Hart's side in the ring in Kansas City after Hart fell from the rafters. And they said the highlights of it, the incident being 18 years ago, 6 minutes and 9 seconds mark of the show. It just seemed hard to believe that it's been 18 years since that night, because that night is so vivid in my mind. For some reason, I was looking around as the promo was playing. I glanced up and was looking around. And as the promo was going, I just saw something. I couldn't say that I saw it, but saw Owen actually fall. I just saw a blur. Rushing to Hart's side at 11 minutes 30 seconds, mark of the show. Once your heart is no longer beating anymore, I could just see his face turn gray, from the tip of his nose all the way down to his face. As the blood was settling in his body, I realized that moment right then that Owen was gone. Jerry Lawler then also discussed more about the pranks Owen Hart pulled and Jinder Mahal's title win. And you can listen to the full show with that link. Also noted that from Raw video, 205 Live will feature a street fight to end the feud between Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick. Also seen in this link, Mike Rome was interviewing Tozawa after a Raw win and area to area when Kendrick attacked him. The two were then separated by officials. Well, it appears that WWE veteran Goldust may be in for a push on the Raw brand after the turn on R-Truth last week. This week's Raw saw a backstage promo from the former WWE Intercontinental Champion when he declared that he is back in the director's chair and that the Golden Age is back. Goldust vs. Truth is expected to take place at Extreme Rules next month, which is only like a week away. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. Then you can see the promo from all this link. WWE has a new poll asking which 205 Live star should be including in an upcoming Mattel Elite Series action figure set. Liz Dorado, Akira Tozawa, or Grand Metalik. Results will be revealed at a later date, but you can vote at this link. Former WWE superstar former WWE NXT superstar Elias Sampson made his main roster in-ring debut last night's Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan, in a non-title match against WWE Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose. Sampson won the match after The Miz hit the ring and nailed him, causing Ambrose to get disqualified to play up their Extreme Rules match. Sampson made his first Raw appearance on April 10th after losing a Loser Leaves NXT match in March. He has made several Raw appearances over the past month, but this was his first actual match. Sampson, who played the guitar and sang a song before the match, was booked strong against Ambrose. He also laid Ambrose out after the match with his snap swinging neckbreaker. And here's a video from the pre-match segment. Hellfire by Barns Courtney is the official theme song for the June 4th Extreme Rules pay-per-view from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. WWE has a new poll asking fans which 205 Live star should be including in. Well, this is another link for it too. It's on WWE.com. Mattel Live. Mattel Elite Series. Impact Wrestling X Division Champion Low Key recently spoke with UK Steel Chair magazine. And here are the highlights. Impact Wrestling is going through a resurgence at the moment, especially in UK. How does it feel to be a focal part of that, especially leading the X Division as champion? It's important for me to be a focal part in the redevelopment of Impact. I've been a focal part since the beginning. I've been influential in its construction since the beginning. So now I have the opportunity at a different stage in my career. With more wisdom, more knowledge, more experience, it's a fun position to be in because just coming from experience, I understand the different generations of TNA. And now I can pinpoint certain things that we couldn't in the past, of which to avoid, which to approach, ultimately just improve so that the audience can enjoy it. And they messed up in this interview because it's no longer TNA, it's just Impact Wrestling. You made an instant impact on your return, seizing the X Division Championship for the 5th time. What were your thoughts on holding the title again? Well, it's important because I was since its inception. The X Division was originally based off me, AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn, and Psychosis. And to be on top, again, is hard. It doesn't get any easier as you get older. This is quite a physical art. So matching up against these type of competitors and still being able to hold my own. These guys are getting better every generation because their conditioning and their health is improving early in their careers. So it's not the case going into previous generation where you can see the development of the body and ultimately what they turn into. Instead, performers are actually coming in well conditioned, which is a different approach than the past. So now you're facing a higher caliber of athleticism, and it's very difficult to keep up with at times. You got a guy like Desmond Xavier who goes all over the place and kind of reminds me similarly of Amazing Red when he came to TNA in 2002 when the stuff he was doing was blowing everybody away. And it's fun because it's another generation of hungry competitors. They are going through what we went through. It's now their time coming up. They are chomping at the bit to make a name for themselves and to make everyone know that they belong. It's definitely an exciting time. In recent months, you have taken part in wrestling seminars. What advice would you give to young or new wrestlers hoping to break into the business? I'll ask them how many bodies do they have? You only get one. So what you got to do with it, because when you start using that as a business, you have to understand that the business does not care about your emotional well-being. It only cares about bottom line results. If you're going to use that one body in a business, you might want to take it into consideration that you will have to treat it well. Your body is going to become your vehicle, so it's more different than a car. You provide it with the proper fuel, it will go far. If you don't, you won't go far. If you don't take care of it, you won't go anywhere. If you maintain it, take care of it, you will be able to use it when you need it. So you have to carry your own body, and that is not one of the first things you get taught, because in the majority of schools that I have seen are more interested in taking money than they are instructing people on how to maintain their bodies. And that's an unfortunate position, but it's in the nature of people wanting to make money. People still want to make money despite their responsibility or morality or ethics, so you will have to protect yourself. This is an unforgiving art. There is no pension. There is no union. You would be lucky to get health insurance. So you think ahead. Again, these aren't always things you are taught once you enter a school. You learn this over time and after trial and error. They need a lot of information that needs to be brought to the front. They need a lot of information up front so they can come up from an informed position. The majority of people entering the pro wrestling and at the initial stages don't come from an informed position. They just want to try something, which is cool. But it makes you go back to the first question. How many bodies do you have? And that's the highlights of his video. Here's the interview. Xavier Woods will be hosting the kind of funny Live 3 event on Saturday, June 3rd in San Francisco at the Regency Ballroom. Woods is featured in the show promo at this link. So if there's any live events on that particular Saturday, he ain't going to be there. Wrestle America indie promotion ran out of Georgia by Raw superstar Luke Gallows has shut down due to what is called legal reasons. Their Facebook and Twitter accounts have been shut down, but the Bulletproof Dojo Wrestling School, the Gallows and Joey Mercury, have been running in conjunction with the promotion, is still up and running. It appears that they will be running indie shows under the Bulletproof Wrestling banner as well. At Bulletproof Dojo on Twitter, just want to clear the air. The school is still in operation. No changes with it. Braun Strowman posted the following during Raw on Monday night, showing off his shattered elbow. Also noted in a picture, Braun underwent elbow surgery to repair a nagging injury on May 11th, and WWE has announced that he is expected to be out of action for up to 6 months. And he's I take it back. I don't have the picture. It'll be in this link on Instagram. Copyright violations. Matt Hardy, or one of the two teams, gonna rewrite the rules of Extreme. Hardy's locked in a hashtag steel cage with two wild, hungry animals. Good luck. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Future matches for upcoming SmackDown tapings, Ember Moon, and Gaines and more. A video from Up, Down, Down with injured WWE NXT superstar Ember Moon, Kobe Kingston, and Xavier Woods playing Mass Effect. Just go to Up, Down, Down. You can find it. I didn't get the link for that. Triple H tweeted at Triple H, a tournament with top female talent from around the world is the next stage of the women's evolution at WWE. July 13th and 14th from Full Sail University. At Triple H, tickets for the hashtag Mae Young Classic go on sale 10 a.m. this Friday at this link at NXTtickets.com. Honor the past, look to the future. WWE just confirmed that Cedric Alexander will make his return to the ring on tonight's 205 Live episode, which will also feature Brian Kendrick versus Akira Tozawa in a street fight. They tweeted this promo at this link. Roman Reigns tweeted following on his new My Yard t-shirt from WWE Shop, which he calls the coolest tee he's ever had. You can go to WWE Shop and shop.com to see the picture, and I think I have that as well. Also tweeted he settled the question. get his new hashtag It's My Yard authentic tee at WWE Shop. Hashtag WWE, hashtag Roman Reigns. This link here. And here's this next video link, resent by Jack Swagger and Alberto El Patron for a full match promotion full promotion in Mexico. This may have been Swagger's first post-WWE match at this link. WWE recently applied a trademark to the new term, immune to fear, for merchandise use, apparently. Nothing unknown. John Cena tweeted the following to promote second season of Fox American Grit reality competition. Season 2 premieres airs on Sunday, June 11th. Show you a picture of that. John Cena. T-3 weeks until the premiere of at American Grit Fox Season 2 on Sunday, June 11th. Hashtag Show You Grit. WWE Music has released this Bruiserweight theme song for new UK champion Pete Dunne. WWE website has announced a triple main event for June 13th SmackDown from New Orleans, which will be the final WWE show in New Orleans before WrestleMania 34 in 2018. Matches announced including Randy Orton versus WWE Champion Jinder Mahal, AJ Styles versus WWE US Champion Kevin Owens, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. WWE also included a 5 biggest New Orleans moments with the announcement at this link. WWE.com/shows /SmackDown /article /WWE 5 biggest New Orleans moments. Dashes in between each one. The Ringer asked AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sasha Banks, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Braun Strowman a simple question. Can you take them? The list included Golden State Warriors, Bruce Lee, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, the Backstreet Boys, and a number of other individuals. And you can say the exact link, what they said at this link. 205 Live superstar Drew Gulak and longtime partner Liz Dietz were married over the weekend. CZW DJ Hyde posted the following photo at this link of the happy couple. Also noted, NXT General Manager William Regal is currently in Japan until June to scout talents for the company. He's catching up with former WCW star, Japanese legend Yuji Nagata. Can be shown at seen in this picture. And he also tweeted at Real King Regal, just had a lovely night with my great friend at Nagata769, Mr. Well Past It, and Mr. Anti-Aging. Stephanie McMahon recently spoke with the Sun in the UK and commented on a possible return to the ring, revealing that she could come back to help boost the status of another superstar. She said, I absolutely love the in-ring performance aspect to what we do. It's such an honor to be able to get in there and some of those performers and actually take bumps or tell the story of the match. If you're not familiar, she just took a bump and tried to interfere in the match in a mill. And she got on the apron and got bumped and went through a table. So yeah, she could take bumps. I'm not necessarily the best, but I do love to get in there. If there's an opportunity again to do that and to help make somebody else, then I would absolutely welcome it. The Rock's new movie, Baywatch, is getting skewered by critics recently. According to movie aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the movie is at 19%, which would make it the worst reviewed movie of The Rock's career. Of the 70 reviews counted for the movie, 57 have been negative with only 13 positive. More news about The Rock. NBC's Saturday Night Live had its most watched season in 23 years this past year. This past Saturday's episode, hosted by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, was the most watched season finale in 6 years with 8.3 million viewers. For the season, it was the 4th most watched episode. Matt Hardy's wife, Reby Hardy, posted an amusing tweet this week. She said that she was about to pack a bag and go beat some hoes' ass. When a Twitter account by the name of at mmmgorgeous started following her husband Matt Hardy on Twitter before realizing that was a handle for Tyler Breeze. Well, she was her tweet said, at Reby Hardy, got a phone notification that someone named mmmgorgeous was following my husband back, and I was about to pack a bag and go beat some hoe's ass. Speaking of Tyler Breeze, a reminder that Adam Cole will be facing Cody Rhodes at Northeast Wrestling Spring Slam Tour at the Ice Time Sports Complex at 21 Lakeside Road in Newburgh, New York, this coming Friday. There will be a meet and greet with the stars before the show at 6 p.m. You can get more details at northeastwrestling.com. Shinsuke Nakamura is set to make his Madison Square Garden debut at WWE Live event on Friday, July 7th. This is a Raw brand event, but the Nakamura vs. Dolph Ziggler match has been added. Would that be a spoiler? Both guys be sent to Raw? We'll have to wait and see. Madison Square Garden live event was set to feature Elias Sampson's debut in the arena, but Sampson, Goldust, Kurt Hawkins, Bo Dallas, and Titus O'Neil versus Apollo Crews, R-Truth, Rhino, Heath Slater, and Kalisto has been pulled. So here's what's left on the current card. Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. Finn Balor versus Carl Anderson with Luke Gallows. The Miz versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. Austin Aries versus Cruiserweight Champion Neville. Cesaro and Sheamus versus Raw Tag Team Champions, the Hardys. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, and Nia Jax versus Mickie James, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler is your main event. Also reported earlier this month that Chris Jericho has been added to the Raw Live event in Tokyo on June 30th and July 1st at Ryugoku Sumo Hall, as well as the June 28th Raw Live event in Singapore and Singapore Indoor Stadium. Jericho will be facing Hideo Itami at the June 30th event, while he will wrestle Dean Ambrose, Finn Balor, and The Miz in a fatal four-way for Miz's Intercontinental Championship that night, or the following night. So there's a spoiler. June 30th, The Miz will win the championship against Dean Ambrose. Asuka's been added to the tour as well and will be replacing Mickie James. She will be teaming with Bayley and Sasha Banks to take on Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Emma on both nights. Goldust and R-Truth are also currently scheduled to team together to face Bo Dallas and Titus O'Neil on both nights. On June 30th, here's the card for that one. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe. Dean Ambrose and The Miz. Dean Ambrose versus Miz with Maurice for the IC Championship. Could that be a rematch? We'll just have to wait and see. Finn Balor versus Carl Anderson with Luke Gallows. Chris Jericho versus Hideo Itami. Enzo and Big Cass versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Neville versus Austin Aries versus Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship. Goldust and R-Truth versus Bo Dallas and Titus O'Neil. Asuka, Bayley, and Sasha versus Alexa, Nia, and Emma. Well, with Emma injured, she's probably out for that match. July the 1st, event was Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho versus Finn Balor versus Miz with Maurice for the Intercontinental Championship. Fatal 4-way. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Big Cass with Enzo versus Cesaro with Sheamus. Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship. Goldust and R-Truth versus Bo Dallas and Titus O'Neil. Asuka, Bayley, and Sasha versus Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Emma. Look for that one to be changed, like I said. Because Emma's injured. Dark match before SmackDown in Toledo saw American Alpha. Ty Dillinger, 10 guy. Luke Harper and Mojo Rawley defeat the Colognes, the Ascension, and Aiden English in a 10-man action. SmackDown opened up with a video package on Jinder Mahal's WWE title win at Backlash. And I've already said I will not watch SmackDown because I don't think Jinder Mahal is marketable as a champion. He ain't got no merchandise, so you can't have a marketable champion if you ain't got merchandise. Live from Toledo, from the Dirt Sheets, Ohio, with Tom Phillips, JBL, and Byron Saxon. They start talking when we hear a bunch of police sirens in the background. The camera cuts outside, and there's a police escort making his way to the parking lot. They stop, and the Singh brothers hop out of a car. They place the carpet down, and new champion Jinder Mahal steps out of a car. He takes a look around and gets ready for his Punjabi celebration. We go back to the ring. Out comes SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon. Shane talks about how history was made at Backlash with the WWE title change and fans boo. Shane announces that Randy Orton will get his rematch at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view from St. Louis. He also announces the Money in the Bank ladder match and introduces the participants as we see the briefcase hanging above the ring. Out first comes AJ Styles to a pop, Baron Corbin without next, followed by Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and U.S. champion Kevin Owens. Shane halts production and says Owens knows he's not one of the participants. Shane introduces the final participant, and out comes Shinsuke Nakamura to a pop. Owens throws a fit, and he can't believe it's 5. These 5 are in the match. He understands why some of these guys are in the match, as Sami and Nakamura won at Backlash. Owens says he also won at Backlash. The guy he beat is in the match, but he's not. Owens doesn't get that, and then says that it must come down to favoritism. He says SmackDown is the land of opportunity, where Shane dictates who does those opportunities. Owens wonders if it's something else. He thinks Shane is a little upset because Owens did what he couldn't do at WrestleMania 33, defeat AJ. Shane ends up agreeing and putting Owens in a match as a 6th participant. Corbin tells Owens to shut up and stop talking. Corbin says Owens got himself into the match, but it won't turn out good for him. Corbin knocks the others and tells Shane he should just lower the briefcase down and give it to Corbin now. AJ shuts Corbin up and reminds him that this is his house. AJ Styles built. AJ then knocks Owens and calls him WWE's version of Eric Cartman. Fans chant for Cartman. AJ doesn't care who it is. He plans on getting that case and getting his title back. Sami throws his 2 cents in, but Corbin interrupts him and says his win at Backlash was a fluke. They argue and Owens tells them to shut up. Ziggler interrupts and says he's the only one to actually cash in and win. He will do it again. Nakamura takes the mic and fans chant his name. Nakamura introduces himself. For those who still don't know him, Nakamura says we can call him Mr. Money in the Bank for now. Shane announces Corbin versus Sami in a Backlash rematch for tonight. He makes the main event as well. Ziggler and Owens versus Styles and Nakamura. Shane's music hits and everyone faces off. We see Becky, Charlotte, and Naomi walking to the ring as we go to commercial. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Carmella and Natalya. So Charlotte was there for SmackDown. Back from the break, as out first comes Charlotte Flair for the ring for this tag team match. So she left after SmackDown to head on to that event. Becky Lynch was out next, and the event was with her dad, Ric Flair. Woo! Becky Lynch was out next as Greg Hamilton does the ring introductions. SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi was with her. Carmella and Natalya await in the ring as James Ellsworth is ringside with Tamina. Carmella and Becky start things off as Becky took control. We go to commercial as Charlotte comes in to even up the odds. Tom sends us to a picture-in-picture viewing, but it appears it does not apply to USA Network on the Sling service. Back from the break, and Becky finally gets a hot tag as she kicks away a sharpshooter. Charlotte unloads and takes out Carmella. She goes to work on Natalya and hits a neck breaker. Then a big boot for a 2 count. Charlotte goes up for the moonsault, but Tamina gets on the apron. Naomi takes her out. Charlotte climbs down, but Natalya hits her with a German suplex. Becky tags in and goes to the top. Becky with a drop kick to Natalya. Carmella tags in and rocks Becky with a forearm. More back and forth action. Ellsworth gets involved and tries to make the save, but Becky still gets the win with the disarmer. After the match, Naomi enters the ring and celebrates with the winners. Still to come segment, Corbin versus Sammy and Jinder celebration back to commercial. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin was up next. Back for the break. Both superstars are out. Match barely gets underway with Sammy rolls Corbin up for the quick win out of nowhere. After the bell, Sammy jumped up and started celebrating, but Corbin nails him from behind. Corbin unloaded and sent Sammy to the floor. Corbin sends Sammy into the timekeeper's area and then grabs the steel chair. Corbin nails Sammy with the chair and keeps up the attack. Fighting over into an area by the crowd. Corbin scoops Sammy up and drops his neck over the railing. Corbin mushes Sammy's face into the ringside barrier and unloads on him with punches. Corbin then marches off to the back as fans boo. Officials check on Sammy and bring out a stretcher for taking Sammy to the back. Still to come segment, our tag team main event, also another edition of the Fashion Files. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we'll see what just happened to Sammy. He was stretchered out during the commercial. AJ Styles greets Shinsuke Nakamura backstage and hypes their first time teaming tonight as they face off in New Japan Pro Wrestling. AJ admits he learned a few things from Nakamura in Japan, but tonight Nakamura needs to follow his lead because this is the house that AJ built. AJ says everything will turn out fine if he does that. Nakamura says tonight they will team, but he's taking the briefcase at Money in the Bank and making AJ's house Nakamura's playground. Nakamura walks off. We got another edition of the Fashion Files with Tyler Breeze and Fandango approaching Shane McMahon. They go to turn their badges in, but Shane puts them in singles matches against the Usos tonight. We see the final preparations being made in the ring for gender celebration. Back to commercial. Back for the break, and several Indian dancers come out to kick off the Punjabi celebration. The Singh brothers appear next and walk out down the red carpet between the dancers. They stop at ringside. New champion Jinder Mahal is out next as his music plays. Jinder stops and greets the brothers before entering the ring with them. The dancers are dancing around the ring. Jinder raises the title in the middle of the ring and the music stops. Fans boo. Jinder goes on about how people in his home country are cheering for him. People boo him here because of how he talks and how he looks. But he proved everyone wrong with the win at Backlash. Jinder says Randy Orton is just like everyone else. He's on the wrong path, but Jinder is on the rise. Jinder then goes on and says that the people can't ruin his celebration. They can't hijack the Maharaja's crowning. Jinder says this isn't about the fans. It's about celebrating his accomplishment, celebrating his people, celebrating the Punjabi, and celebrating India. Jinder tells everyone to keep quiet so he can speak to his people in Punjabi. The segment ends as pyro goes off above the ring, and Jinder's music hits again. Jinder poses with the title as the dancers make their way to the back. Kind of like he was surprised at that, as they just cut his thing off. Still to come segment, Nakamura and AJ versus Owens and Ziggler. Back commercial. Back from the break, we get a new vignette for Lana's debut coming soon. They did the same thing for Emelina. Jey Uso versus Tyler Breeze was up next. Back from the break, out comes SmackDown champions, the Usos. Tyler Breeze was out next with Fandango. Bell rings and Uso doesn't even look interested. He takes the mic and says they already beat those two chumps at Backlash. Uso goes after Fandango, who shot him with a water gun, but Breeze takes advantage and rolls up Uso for the quick win. After the bell, Jimmy Uso wants his match. Jimmy versus Fandango. The bell rings and Uso goes to work on Fandango, whipping him hard into the turnbuckle. Breeze gets chased around the ring, distracting both Usos. He decks Jay as Fandango rolls Jimmy up off the distraction for another easy win. So they now get a title shot. After the match, Breezango takes the mic. They want a rematch for the titles. They talk to Usos, and the Usos call for a match right now. The referee goes to the timekeeper's area and puts on a headset to communicate with the back. The match is now official. SmackDown Tag Team title match. Breezango versus Usos. Referee raises his titles as both teams get ready to go. Back to commercial. Back for the break. And the match is underway. Fandango and Jay get the hot tag. At the same time, they go at it. Fandango drops Jay with a spinning kick. Fandango then took both of the Usos down and covers Jay for a close 2 count. Uso counters a Falcon Arrow and sends Fandango into the ring post. Uso double team both of their opponents in. Uso goes to the top for a big splash, but Fandango gets his knees up. Fandango with a close 2 count. Fandango then climbs back to the top, but it has to kick Jay off the apron. Jimmy takes advantage and nails him. Then Jimmy climbs up. Jay tags in, but Fandango doesn't see it. Fandango hits the last dance on Jimmy, but Jay follows right up with a top rope splash to Fandango for the pinfall win. After match, Uso stand tall as we go to replays. Breezango are shown recovering from on the floor. Still to come segment, AJ and Nakamura versus Owens and Ziggler. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Shane is on the phone. Natalya walks in and wants her shot at the SmackDown Women's title. James Ellsworth and Carmella are in next to make her case for getting a title shot. They argue until Becky Lynch comes in. Tamina walks in also, and she wants a title shot. Charlotte enters next. Shane announces a fatal 5-way elimination match for next week. The winner gets to face Naomi at Money in the Bank. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, your main event. Back from break. And Dolph Ziggler, WWE US Champion Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura are all out for your main event. AJ starts off with Ziggler, back and forth start. Ziggler misses a drop kick, but AJ comes right back with a drop kick of his own. Nakamura then gets a tag. Ziggler wants none of him and tags in Owens. Fans pop as Nakamura and Owens face off. Owens talks trash as Nakamura decks him. Nakamura goes to work and goes for an early Kinshasa, but Owens rolls to the floor for a breather as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, and Nakamura and Owens finally go at it. Nakamura with a big knee to the gut and some good vibration in the corner. Owens uses the top rope on Nakamura and turns it around. Owens then unloads with stomps and yells about being the champ. Owens keeps Nakamura in the corner and tags in Ziggler for a bit of double teaming. Fan chant for AJ. Ziggler keeps control of Nakamura out of the corner. Hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler keeps Nakamura grounded. Nakamura then looks for a comeback, but Ziggler floors him and grounds him again. Owens tags in and keeps Nakamura down before showing off some. Of course, Dolph Ziggler is a show off. Owens with shots in the corner now. Owens takes Nakamura down and kicks him in the back. Owens with a headlock. Fan chant for AJ as Owens keeps Nakamura down. Nakamura fights up, but Owens floors him. Ziggler comes back in for a bit of double teaming. Nakamura finally fights out of the corner and decks both guys. Nakamura looks to make a tag, but Ziggler rams him back into the corner. Owens tags in and knocks Styles off the apron. Owens with a clothesline and a corner cannonball for a 2 count. Owens mounts Nakamura with a right hand as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Ziggler cuts Nakamura off with a drop kick for a 2 count. Owens tags in and keeps up the attack. Owens then splashes Nakamura for a 2 count. Owens with more offense and a tag to Ziggler, telling him to finish Nakamura. Nakamura fights Ziggler off, but Ziggler knees him. Ziggler charges but runs into the ring post. AJ gets out tag and unloads on Ziggler with strikes and a clothesline. AJ with a sliding forearm for a 2 count on Ziggler. AJ then knocks Owens off the apron. Ziggler and AJ trade holds. AJ with a fireman's carry neck breaker for a 2 count. Owens goes for the Styles clash, but Owens distracts him. Ziggler takes advantage and drops AJ over the top rope. Then Ziggler sends AJ to the floor. Owens with a senton on the floor. Owens sends AJ into the apron and brings him back up onto the apron for a running knee to the back, sending AJ back to the floor. Owens tosses Nakamura. Owens brings AJ back into the ring and grounds him with a headlock. Wrestle. Styles fights up and out from Owens. Owens backdrops him for another pin attempt. Owens with elbows to the head now. Ziggler takes AJ to the top for a superplex, but it's blocked. AJ slides to the mat. Ziggler rushes down and stops him from tagging. AJ ducks a clothesline and plants Ziggler on his face. Both men are down. Nakamura and Owens both tag at the same time, and they go at it. Nakamura unloads and hits a running knee in the corner. Nakamura then places Owens on the top turnbuckle and runs in with a high knee for a 2 count. Owens fights back, but runs into a knee. Nakamura then drops Owens for a 2 count as Ziggler breaks up the pinfall. Ziggler misses a zigzag on Nakamura. Nakamura launches him with an exploder. Owens stops a Kinshasa to Ziggler. AJ nails a Pele kick to Owens. AJ goes for a Styles Clash on Owens, but Ziggler super kicks him. Nakamura drop kicks Ziggler out of the ring. Nakamura nails a Kinshasa on Owens and covers him for the pinfall win. After the match, Nakamura's music hits and he stands tall. AJ and Nakamura have their arms raised in the middle of the ring. As we go to replays, Nakamura continues the celebration as AJ looks on, standing on the second turnbuckle. SmackDown goes off the air with AJ and Nakamura standing in the middle of the ring, facing off as we see the Money in the Bank briefcase hanging high above the ring. After last night's SmackDown and 205 Live tapings, Jinder Mahal face off against Randy Orton. Orton hit Mahal with an RKO and appeared to be headed to a victory when the Singh brothers interfered. Very similar to their pay-per-view match, causing Mahal to be disqualified. But Mahal got the pinfall win. Since the referees didn't see it at the pay-per-view, Mahal got the win and became champion. Singh brothers continue to beat Orton after the bell rang until Orton hit both brothers with an RKO. Thanks to @Brian the Guppy on Twitter. Highlights from Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal live SmackDown Dark match from 523. Also, hashtag WWE @The Varble @Wrestling Inc. @PW Stream. You can check out the highlights at this link, the actual video. 205 Live on the WWE Network. Airing live from Toledo, Ohio, Huntington Center. After SmackDown went off the air. Brian Kendrick opened this week's 205 Live telling a tale about Akira Tozawa. He talked about Tozawa developing a reputation after 10 years. Kendrick talked about wanting to teach Tozawa more. Kendrick said Tozawa had to be taught a lesson before refusing his help. Kendrick then called Tozawa returning the favor with lessons, disrespect. Kendrick brought up their one-on-one match and how Tozawa got a cheap win. Kendrick then said he was going to teach Tozawa a lesson he would never forget. Kendrick then talked about how the street fight plays into his strength and he will teach Tozawa the final lesson of them all. And we get to 205 intro theme played. Tom Phillips and Corey Graves on commentary. Graves hyped off a double versus Devil for the Extreme Rules. Phillips hyped the return of Cedric Alexander for this week's show. Phillips then discussed Kendrick versus Tozawa in the main event of the show. Rich Swann made his entrance. Area DeVary was out next. So there's your first match. Phillips cut to clips that showed us how this match was made because Area got white powder exploded in his face. Rich Swann versus Area DeVary. DeVary complained about Swann messing up his expensive suit. Swann gave DeVary a drop kick and sent him outside. Swann maintained the pursuit. DeVary tried to bait Swann into a false sense of security, but Swann didn't bite in and used his ability to maintain the upper hand. DeVary gained some breathing room outside, and as he threw Swann into the LED apron, DeVary slowed things down in the ring with a methodical heel offense. Swann fought his way out of a chicken wing, but DeVary came right back with a jumping knee. DeVary went back to his offense. Swann tried to escape with a raised boot, but DeVary performed a knee to the arm strike. DeVary kept things controlled with a Cobra Clutch. DeVary kept Swann grounded with a neck breaker, which led to DeVary locking in the Cobra Clutch. There was about 2 to 3 minutes of Cobra Clutch time in this match so far. Rich Swann escaped with a jawbreaker. Swann then executed a drop toe hold. Swann came at DeVary with a various number of strikes and clotheslines. Swann grounded DeVary with a rolling kick to the back of DeVary's head. Swann then hit the spinning back kick finisher that he hits. DeVary kicked out at 2. Swann hit the Phoenix Splash for the victory. And the match took 6 minutes 29 seconds. Noam Dar interrupted Swann's victory celebration by pushing him to the floor off the top rope. Dar and Alicia Fox taunted Swann, who was knocked out on the ground. Graves said Dar may have crossed the line. Commercial. You can only beat up Area DeVary, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak so many times before the match. Matches mean absolutely nothing, and the time passed several months ago. The match went too long for what happened, and why have DeVary kick out of Swann's alternate finisher if they weren't going to put any heat on DeVere by having him lose right after. The match also had way too many headlocks by DeVere. Phillips and Graves gave more hype towards Aries and versus Neville in Extreme Rules, and they cut a recap video of a double Neville feud. After the video, Graves cut to Neville and Aries being interviewed. Aries was eating a banana. Graves pointed out how both men were fighting in a submission match and asked Neville how he feels about people saying this is the biggest challenge as champion. Neville talked about beating everyone, including Aries, twice. Neville called Aries a pretender and delusional. Aries then talked about beating Neville the last time that they were in the ring and how Neville was delusional himself. Neville cut Aries off and told Aries to calm down. Neville said it shocked him that Aries is getting another chance. Aries said he earned his third opportunity. Aries recapped their past encounters. One where Neville put his finger in Aries' eye at WrestleMania. And then the next one where Neville got himself disqualified. Neville claimed it was unintentional. Aries said it was intentional, and that was slander. It was truth. Aries said Neville wasn't the first person to try to cut Aries' leg up out from underneath him. Aries talked about other people hiring henchmen to try to take him out. Aries said Neville has escaped twice, but it won't happen the third time. Aries talked about taking his injured leg to Extreme Rules to defeat Neville. Aries said he has more submissions he hasn't used before to beat Neville. Neville said the fact of the matter is whatever lies Aries wants to tell himself, he can't stand in the ring with the king of the cruiserweights. Neville told Aries to just walk away so he won't have to be responsible for what he has to do to Aries. Commercial break. A really solid interview exchange between the only two people in 205 Live that actually matter. The segment wasn't the greatest interview, but it was solid in pitting the champion and challenger against each other. In fact, the feud might even be better if 205 Live never existed and the cruiserweights were just mainstays on Raw or SmackDown. Cedric Alexander made his return to the ring in this next match. His jobber opponent was in the ring. The jobber opponent was a guy named Johnny Boone. Boone tried to kick Alexander to no avail. Boone ate an elbow and rolled to the outside. Boone ran outside to catch Alexander off guard and got dominated. Cedric took down Boone with a springboard clothesline. Alexander hit the lumbar check for the pinfall win. Squash match at 1 minute 32 seconds. Phillips moved on to talking about Drew Gulak's quest and getting rid of the high-flying 205 Live. They cut the clips of the beatdown Gulak and Knees gave to Mustafa Ali. Gulak had a message, as Gulak did a political ad in front of a green screen. He said he believes in a better 205 Live. Gulak said the cruiserweights were the most sound technicians in this business. Gulak mocked the high flyers. He said people like Mustafa Ali are who he's campaigning against. As Drew Gulak said he was fighting for a better 205 Live, they did a freeze frame of him giving a thumbs up. A nice return for Alexander. Enhancement wrestler wasn't bad either. He had a fit body, but his facials were great and showing fear and jobber looks. I hope they can turn this show around somehow, but it makes the show even more hopeless in the fact that WWE looks like they aren't going to siphon any more resources from NXT or the UK. Let's hope they get some creative salvation soon. Match number 3, Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick in a street fight. Kendrick slowly walked out to the ring to look for some weapons, but Tozawa didn't allow that with a tope suicida. Tozawa then led the crowd into the ha chants. Kendrick ran Tozawa's head into the announce table. Tozawa countered by tossing Kendrick over the table with a hip toss. Tozawa then brought the action back into the ring. Tozawa hit a running kick followed by a running senton. Tozawa hit the knife edge chop to Kendrick. Tozawa grounded Kendrick with a feint jab. Kendrick gained a bit of breathing room by causing Tozawa to crash and burn over the top rope. Tozawa and Kendrick pulled out a table and unintentionally funny, the 205 Live purple tape. Tozawa brought the action back in the ring. Kendrick gained the upper hand by tossing his jacket at Tozawa, which led to him suplexing Tozawa to the outside. Kendrick then grabbed the 205 Live purple tape and brawled with Tozawa in the ring. Kendrick took the 205 Live purple tape to seal Tozawa's mouth. Kendrick locked into crossface. Tozawa made it to a vertical base. Tozawa then pushed Kendrick to the outside, who attempted slice bread number 2. Tozawa's soul being winded from the 205 Live tape. Tozawa then dominated Kendrick up the ramp. Kendrick blocked a whip and tossed Tozawa into the video wall. Kendrick dragged Tozawa to ringside and threw him into the steps. Kendrick then grabbed 205 Live purple tape again and used it to bind Tozawa's arm on the LED turnbuckle. Kendrick then used the belt to whip Tozawa a few times. Kendrick grabbed the table to set up, which mildly hyped the crowd. Tozawa escaped because the camera caught the ref helping him out as he started to whip Kendrick a few times. Tozawa brought Kendrick in the ring and went high risk. Tozawa missed and Kendrick rolled Tozawa to the ground with a captain's hook. Tozawa then dragged Kendrick to the outside to the second rope to break the hold. Kendrick worked on Tozawa on the outside. The two brawled and were pretty even back and forth as Kendrick went for what may be a tiger bomb, but Tozawa blocked it. Tozawa then countered and hit the front suplex to toss Kendrick to the outside. Tozawa then hit Sato suplex on Kendrick on the outside. Kendrick went for the captain's hook again, but Tozawa countered with a mild DDT on the steel steps. Tozawa did his ha thing again and put Kendrick on the table. Tozawa took his time getting to the top rope. He hit a pretty high and impressive senton. This caused a few people to chant ECW, holy shit, and ha. Just a few times though. Tozawa slowly took Kendrick in the ring and then won the street fight by pinfall. And your main event took 14 minutes 48 seconds. Tozawa and Kendrick were laid out in the ring, exhausted. Phillips and Graves cut the highlights from the match. Tozawa made it to his feet first and led the crowd into a ha chant. And that concludes my results for 205 Live and SmackDown. If you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters. See you one on beer.